Hello and welcome to Knowing Me, Knowing UKSG, a podcast exploring journeys in scholarly communications. In each episode, we hear from someone inspiring from the knowledge community and ask them to tell us about their career journey and what has motivated them along the way.
Hi everyone, welcome to the UKSG podcast. My name is Tom Morley and today we're joined by Rebecca Wells. Rebecca is a library assistant at Liverpool Hope University and also attended the UKSG conference last year as a first timer as part of the bursary scheme. Rebecca, thank you very much for joining us today.
No worries, happy to be here.
So on this podcast, we'll be talking a bit about your career journey so far and also about your experiences of the conference and maybe as well give some tips for people who are perhaps thinking of applying for the bursary scheme for this year. But just to get us going, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your current and previous roles?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Rebecca, I'm 24, and I'm still relatively new to the whole kind of like world of librarianship and information sphere and all that. I've had a bit of an odd path to get to where I am now, as it all kind of started when I was at university myself doing my undergraduate degree. I have an undergraduate degree in medicinal chemistry actually, which is a bit of an odd one. But while I was doing it during my second year, I kind of realized I was like, I don't actually want to do this and I need to figure out what's going on. It just so happened a family friend I was talking to was a librarian when she started her career quite a long time ago now and suggested it as an idea for me to look into. She thought it would suit me well. This led me to a student role at the University of Liverpool, which is where I was studying, in their know-how team, which is to do with information literacy and general library skills and such. I did that during my third year of university and I thoroughly enjoyed it, I will say that, to the point that I kind of decided that this was the career path I wanted to go into, even though the jobs I was doing at the time were very much not related to any of the ones I'm doing now. But just being in the library setting and meeting all the people there was pretty kind of solidifying for me to know this is where I wanted to go. The team were great over there. They were really supportive. They chatted to me about it and like what the best path was, which then set me on forward. I had a bit of a gap after graduating, but I started my current job at Liverpool Hope in February 2024. I'm a library assistant in the acquisitions office, so I do all the book ordering and stuff like that, and it's pretty low down the totem pole, but it's because it's such a small library, it's a great place to kind of get experience and try my hand at a bunch of different roles and a bunch of different things. And I'm also currently just over halfway done with my master's in information library studies as well. So it's given me time to work through that and kind of keep pushing forward in my own career to get the experience I need to progress hopefully soon.
It sounds like you're quite busy working on your masters alongside your current role.
Yeah.
But you managed to find time to attend the UKSG conference last year. Do you mind telling our listeners a bit about what you enjoyed most about the conference?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I very luckily got one of those 10, I think it was 10 bursary spots. And it was something I was so excited about because I've never been to a conference before. The thing I actually enjoyed the most of everything was just meeting other people and talking to everybody. I made quite a good friend over at Edge Hill University through this, who was another conference winner. And I just met loads of people that I wouldn't have had the chance to meet if I hadn't have gone and learn about their careers and the way they got to where they were now and how they wanted to progress in the future as well. It was just great learning from everyone else and like their expertise.
Do you have any key takeaways from the conference? Was there anything that kind of stuck out as like something that you learned a lot from?
Um, I wouldn't say learn. I think it was just kind of really drove home the point. Like so many people, and I tell people what I do, and the sector I work in, the sector I want to carry on working in, is I get the well, isn't that job going to go away soon? And I think just going to this conference kind of really affirmed that it isn't. It's the jobs are still here to stay. There's still so many people who are passionate about it, and so many companies as well. Like there's longevity here, and everyone's working towards maintaining libraries and librarians. And just the conference itself just kind of really showed that everyone's working towards it. There's new research all the time. There's new efforts to kind of tackle these new problems that are coming up. It's lovely to see.
And has your career or your role changed as a result of attending the conference?
Not really. It's more of I've got some new ideas now, and there's things that I would like to do when I have a little bit more sway, probably. I obviously I did a report for my institution after the conference. Some things we can't put in place, just it's not feasible, but there are things that personally I'd really like to get involved in once I'm in a role that allows me to get involved in them in that way. It also gave me quite like a different perspective of my own role. Obviously, UKSG has a lot to do with serials and acquisitions, and it just gave me more kind of like overarching view of acquisitions as a whole and made me view my role a bit differently.
I found that as well from attending the conference in the past. You see so many different people and colleagues from different parts of the sector you never really thought about before, and it's really nice having that kind of wider context of what's going on in the sector, and also what roles you could potentially progress into as well as you kind of go on through your career. For our final question, I was wondering, do you have any tips for people who are considering applying for the first time spot, or for people who are attending the conference for the first time as a delegate?
Well, as I say, if you're applying for it, don't think too hard about it. I think you just write from the heart and get somebody to check it over, because I do remember there's like 3 questions. I think my tip for anyone who's just attending for the first time is to talk to literally everybody, not just the other delegates, but to the suppliers that are there. Like, I know a lot of people go to the conference to kind of strike deals for their institution and talk to their reps and work on the deals. I don't have any of the power to do that, but I would go and I would talk to the representatives of these different suppliers anyway, just because I'd like to kind of understand their perspective from the other side of things, almost like the ones who are applying for the libraries, how they got into their jobs, what they thought of what's going on in the sector currently. And at the time, obviously, the UKSG conference was just after ProQuest's big, huge announcement. So it was really interesting as well to get people's perspectives on that. I imagine something equally big will have happened between now and when the conference happens in Glasgow. But it's just, again, I know I've said this before, but just talk to everybody.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us today, Rebecca.
No worries, it was fun.
UKSG exists to connect the sector and encourage the exchange of ideas. It brings together the information community of librarians, publishers, intermediaries, and technology vendors. If you know someone whose career journey would make for an interesting episode, please get in touch with UKSG via Twitter. Please like and share our podcast to help us support those in our community who are just starting their journey. And subscribe to the channel to keep up with future episodes.